The Yonkos are too strong. That's it. I'm calling it. Yonkos are too freaking strong, okay? Because, don't get me wrong, Big Mom may have suffered a concussion, slightly maybe. She's taking a nap by the end of this chapter. But dog, Queen, that bronchio power. This chapter, One Piece though, there's just so much to talk about. Between the fact that Queen essentially dropped his head from freaking a mountain top of a gate onto Big Mom, to Big Mom being captured at this particular point, to Luffy's new Haki level up that he's kind of already mastered and doesn't even know it yet. So many different things to talk about. That One Piece greatness, baby. Let's go.
Whether Facebook, Twitter, or the two, make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like...
So the beginning of the chapter, we get a flashback to when Rayleigh was able to, I believe that was Kami, he was able to snap the sea stone cuff from around her neck, or I believe he called it a slave collar. He was able to snap it using Haki, and Luffy was able to remember that. So there was something there, because at first I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. If Luffy's able to do that, why didn't he do this all along? That was kind of one of the questions that was on my mind. Now looking at it, he was only able to do it out of an instinct, essentially. It's kind of like, you know, take it to Dragon Ball, for example. It was an instinct that he was able to do it. But then we get more, because I think this chapter and this arc has really been opening up these different variables of now Haki is a little bit, or a lot more advanced. It opens up the possibilities of new Haki levels. Basically, this is something that I've actually even seen being applied in a lot of series in Shonen Jump, because Haki, for the most part in the beginning, when it was introduced, none of this was really like completely thought out. Let's be honest. A lot of manga in general, the authors even admit that as they go along, they add these elements, because Haki definitely was a lot more simplified. I've seen something like this in My Hero Academia recently, where they're kind of taking certain aspects and adding advancements to them. Now, granted, a lot of things in the One Piece world, and this is what separates it from something like My Hero, when you start advancing levels to different things, is that things in the One Piece world has been a mystery. The only thing, there's a couple of things in One Piece where you could argue like, okay, wait a minute, why didn't we see Haki in Marineford? So, you know, there's things like that you could argue, but in terms of why it works, in my opinion, in terms of like now, the way the old man described that there's levels, like, so if Luffy's Haki to use it in his arm, then being able to shoot it out into an opponent is kind of like a level up. It makes sense, because again, Haki was very vague. We didn't really know much about it. As the series progressed, we started to learn a little bit more, how people were using it. Again, I guess you could argue with the whole Marineford thing, went back real quick. The reason why we didn't get to see it, if you think about it, is this is Luffy and their journey. They probably weren't able to, you know, see the Haki itself, but it was probably being used, because again, these aren't Haki users themselves, although I can't remember if Haki users or non-Haki users are able to see their limbs turning black or not. But regardless of what, that could be the explanation, and I kind of trailed off, but let's keep going. Because Big Mom in this chapter, bro, she knocked them clean. I ain't gonna lie, I thought this was gonna be like, okay, this is Luffy's big moment. One Piece, that's one of the things, when they add comedy, it has such a value to not only just adding comedic aspects to the story, but also to the plot. Because it was a shining moment where I thought, okay, Luffy's about to finally block Big Mom, this is gonna be big. But I think it also called for the fact that, in a sense, Luffy still isn't ready in a way. And I don't know what point of this arc, because at some point in this arc, Luffy needs to be ready, but he still isn't quite there yet. This seems like part of the course of One Piece, where Luffy tries something, he's going to probably try it again. And right there, he still wasn't necessarily ready, but he's mastered it in a sense, because he was able to do it before. So I was kind of shocked that the old man didn't die, to be honest with you. I mean, I was glad in a way, because, okay, you know, after everything Luffy been through, I would hope he would save him, especially it looked like he died in his arms for a second, but I was glad at the very least he survived by using his Haki. Well, he jumped away, so I'm imagining he survived, but, you know, it was a very dire moment, and the fact that One Piece used comedy in a sense because of that moment, like, everyone thought he was gonna do it and he didn't. It's like, yo, it's kind of like the audience, their reaction, I guess. So I love when One Piece does that, and that was a brilliant moment, honestly. Big Mom going on a rampage, running down the Udon prison, that was freaking crazy, because it took elements like we normally, with Whole Cake, for example, a lot of people complained that Whole Cake, we ran around in circles. I honestly felt like, in a way, Oda was poking fun with having Luffy run Big Mom in circles this time around. And then finally, when Queen did, Queen, we're jumping ahead. Let's just continue. Because Queen climbed up the Udon gate, which it looked like Big Mom busted it down to the Udon prison, but Queen climbed up and dropped on Big Mom. And to be honest with you, that was a very shaky moment, but also a defining moment that these Yonko are too freaking strong, okay? Because, yeah, Big Mom, she got put to sleep, right? She knocked out. But really, all that it did was essentially kind of give her a concussion, if you think about it. And that's that Queen went into this zone freaking legendary fruit form, you know, the Brachiosaurus, jumped from on top with a headbutt direct. And all it was it snapped her old personality back in, which that means it's going to get very interesting once she gets around Kaido and see their history. That's definitely in the making right there. But it also was really just enough to kind of just knock her out for a second. And that's when Queen got desperate and was like, yeah, sea stone her up, tranquilizers for days. But again, it shows that somebody, because Queen is heavy in Kaido's army. Queen is up there, and for somebody of Queen's nature to just barely be able to do that to Big Mom, it does a couple things. I think it shows that, again, these Yonko are too damn powerful, but also it legitimizes every legend that we've heard about the Yonko. Every time I see, whether it's Kaido jumping from the heavens, whether it was Whitebeard and the war he waged, it showed that these people deserved their titles. Blackbeard, he got his title in the most nastiest way possible, but people like Big Mom, the monstrosity of that, what was that? Queen dropping, I gotta lie, that was freaking hype. And again, now she's wrapped up in Sea Stone and Triangle. I'll be honest with you, I don't think that's enough to stop her. I think Queen is gonna have a big problem in his hands when he's riding around this little truck thingy and Big Mom wakes up. I don't know. I mean, you could argue, bro, what more? Like, if that isn't enough to stop her, then how could the Marines have ever planned on capturing her? You think about it. So I'm imagining that should do enough to get her to Kaido's lair, and then Kaido possibly has things to keep her at bay. Or who knows, if Kaido and Big Mom teamed up, oh my god. If they was to reconcile for some reason, oh, but nah. More than likely, I still see it as Big Mom going into Kaido's lair, maybe getting remnants and you know, not reminiscing in a good way, but a bad way, getting reminded of everything Kaido has done, and then now that Kaido captured her like this, Big Mom, I think it's going to be in Luffy's favor. Luffy's favor for sure, because even though she was going raging right now, it was really just old rage, and at this point, you gotta think, just look at any problem that you have, right, in the world. Who is somebody that Big Mom would probably have a bigger problem with? Is it the little shrimp that was just talking crap to a couple arcs ago? Or is it this monster that had a huge falling out with her 30, 40 years ago, and to this day they don't rock with each other, and they became the strongest in the world and never rock with each other? It's probably going to be the big monster. So Big Mom, I still see 100% ally for the Straw Hats, ally for our side, because yeah, I don't think she's gonna rock with being enslaved and captured by Kaido unless, again, we get some secret lover's backstory, and I do not want flashbacks of Big Mom and Kaido on dates. Please, no. The ending of the chapter, though, Luffy being freed, and now he's seemingly gonna fight Babanuki, but it was something again, and I always gotta point him out. Y'all know I do. When it comes to Luffy's character development, his character progression, when I see a shining moment, I like to point it out. And maybe it's not the biggest deal, maybe it's not character progression per se, but I really appreciated getting more insight into Luffy's mindset. When at the end of the chapter, Babanuki said, oh, there's one freed over there. And Luffy's response, I've always been free, and I'll be taking Udon now. Bro, I've always been free. I absolutely love that ending. It showed truly the pirate inside of Luffy, who he's been all along. And it just gave me a good feeling, honestly. It gave me a good feeling for it. I mean, this is a pirate story. Wanting to be free is more and more becoming an element of this story. I mean, it's always been there, but Luffy saying something like that, it just shows truly who he is. And it was a reminder, I guess, for fans that forgot a little bit of, like, Luffy, that's why he started the pirate life to begin with. He wanted to be free. That's why most real pirates start their life, is to be free. And Babanuki, bro, you about to be his test subject, okay? The new Haki ability, he's going to test it on you, Babanuki. I don't know if we're going to see it. We might flash back and Babanuki's there and oodles and noodles, but I wouldn't mind seeing Luffy kicking some ass. We've been seeing him training essentially all this time. Give him the win. Babanuki, let's see it. I want to see Babanuki getting his ass kicked. But yeah, this chapter, honestly, Big Mom, heavily impressed. Was it the greatest in the world? I wouldn't say greatest, but it was a freaking great chapter. Very good to great. If I had to give it a score, I'd say probably like an 8.5 to a 9. Big Mom, showcasing. I got a lot of questions for you guys. I guess for starters, Big Mom getting dropped on like that. Does that showcase just how disgusting yet again the strength is of a Yonko when Big Mom gets headbutted from up there by a Bronchiosaurus. Like, that is a very strong dude. Queen is up there, and a headbutt just gives her a little, it's a little concussion. What does it take? Has Luffy had a chance all along? Your thoughts on the Haki level ups? That now, you know, Luffy's Haki is going to essentially be able to insert it into people and destroy them from the inside out. I can't wait to see what he does with it. The next gear, the next whatever. That's going to be freaking crazy. And your overall thoughts and expectations for the future with One Piece now that Big Mom is captured. Do you think we're going to get some flashbacks of her? We better get some flashbacks of, at the very least, the info of her journey with Kaido. I don't know about seeing them smooching and all that shit. Just saying. But that's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Please hit the bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links, of course, in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld. And as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day. Can't forget the music, though. Hold on, let me play out a little something.
Paper rules, if you heard it, best believe that. For now it's whatever. One day I'll be your favorite forever. No matter how you feel, yeah.